To add a format, we need to add course categories, location and provider options, and add a format description as well as format details. First step is the course categories. To do the categories, the locations and providers, we need to make sure the options permissions are correctly set up. So we go into the Setup tab, look at permissions, filter by options, and make sure that you have your role has the options to be able to, or rather have permissions to be able to edit options. So in here we're going to add, edit, manage and remove permissions, giving those to the role. We have to make sure we log out and log back in again, so those permissions that we've just applied are actually applied to our login. And now we've got to go through and we've got to add in some course categories. So we go up to the Publish tab, into Options, go through the various buttons that are there available to us, and we're looking for the tree button. View these options using a tree. So here we've got the tree. You can see there's little plus signs on the left hand side there that can open these out. We're going to add a new option, new course category before this node, and that's going to enable us to have another set of course categories available when we create our venues. We're going to add a child to that new course category we created called Basics. Make sure that the status is set to active. Explain the includer name shortly. And you open that up, and now we can include after this node. Once we've got a child there, we can include before or after the node and extend out the course categories. This is active again. And now we've got two extra course categories there, basic and advanced. You'll notice in the course categories when it comes in lists, notice how first aid has our first aid before it, first aid basics, but the emergency response doesn't. That's about the includer name. So we're going to go back into the course categories, into the tree view, and we're going to edit the top level there and tick the includer name, and then it'll have a little N beside it at the beginning. That means that the name is being included in those children below it. So we go back to creating content. It will show you the drop down there. There we go. The emergency response now has emergency response basic, emergency response advanced. Next is to add locations. We do the same thing in options. So we go to the Publish tab, go into the Options button. We want to go to locations and again edit or view the options by tree view, and you'll see Australia there has Queensland and then Brisbane. So Brisbane, Queensland, Australia is the nesting, and we're going to add after this node. So we're going to add another before this node rather, add another state, New South Wales. Again, make it active. Add that in there, and then we're going to create a child of New South Wales. Namely, that'll be the city, Sydney. Again, make it active. And we're going to edit New South Wales to add in this includer name options. We're going to tick that, save that, and we'll show you how that's displayed. If we were to add new content and look at location, you'll see there that it says Sydney, New South Wales, but does not say Brisbane, Queensland. So if we go back to our options and edit using the tree mode again, you'll see there we can edit Queensland, and we can tick that box, include a name, and that will enable us to have the Brisbane, Queensland display of that particular location. So there we go. The next options to set up are the providers. Once you've set up the providers, you can then allocate different course formats by different provider. As usual, we go into the Publish and Options button, and then we edit the tree view of course providers. Now, course providers isn't available for all licenses. It's only available for the high level licenses. You may therefore not need to create these. If you do, however, or if you need to edit it, this is the way to go about it. So use the tree view. There's only one level in this tree view. We don't create children for this. So we're just going to add after this node, add an additional provider. and ensure the status is active rather than draft. And for that, because we do not nest them, we don't have to worry about the include in name checkbox either. So I'll just quickly add this in, and then the next step is going to be to add a format description. So adding a format description means that we go into the Publish tab, add content as normal, and then we add a name. Now this is the internal name that this format description will be known by. We're going to select a course category that this is appropriate for. Now, format descriptions can be used in emails. They can also be used on the website if you integrate with the with course sales. And you can also have unique descriptions based on location, such as a particular area where you're delivering your training. So the content type, of course, is format. Again, we enter the label. Basically mirroring what we have in name, but label can be used in the emails as a replaceable field as well. To maybe notify the trainer. Set the status to active, which actually copied some content from our website. We're just adding that in there. We can do some formatting, some basic HTML formatting within course sales, just to improve the chances that when someone's looking at the listing of courses, and this will be displayed beside the course, this can be displayed by the course to help sell it. Next is to add the format details. So we take everything we've done so far and we're going to add the format itself. Have to go to Publish. I can add a new format under Publish tab. Give it a name. Again, this name is an internal name that we'll use to keep track of the different formats. And we have a label. Now that label can, again, like I said, be used in the websites. We can also use that label on the emails to notify people what sort of course it is. Online, for example, facilitated event, how many days, what hours it runs between, those sort of vital information that people need to know when they're making a purchase. Remember, when the drop-down boxes with those auto-completes, you can actually type the first 3 letters and you'll get a selection. It's a good quick way of getting the information. Also click on the lightning bolt, which gives you a drop down as well of all the possible options. We'll say that it's active. And that's it. That's a course format. Thanks very much.